Okay, what if I told you that the reason you're not being creative isn't because you lack talent or ideas, but because you're not managing your time? In this video, I'll show you how time management and creativity go hand in hand and how this could be the game changer you're looking for. Hey everyone, SP here. Today I'm going to dive into a topic that has been a complete game changer to me: time management. Now, time management isn't only about being productive, it's about being able to free your mind so that you can unlock your creative potentials. In the last 20 years, I've been a music producer and a music executive, and I have learned some invaluable lessons along the way, especially on how to manage my time. I'm going to share a couple of tricks and tips that have worked for me, and hopefully they'll work for you as well. Okay, sometimes managing your time in a creative field seems like you're trying to catch smoke, right? Or you're just all over the place and you just can't seem to get a grip on it. I felt like this early in my career where I didn't understand exactly where my time was going or how my time was going. I wanted to spend hours upon hours in the studio just creating. It was my comfort zone. It's where I felt great. It's where I felt good. But there was no real intention behind what I was doing. And also, I was putting aside things that I probably should have been doing at the time as opposed to just creating, right? It's important to find the balance, whether it's paying your bills or spending time with your family or doing clerical work or doing other stuff, responding to emails and text messages. I had to learn early on that in order for me to succeed in my career and in order for me to climb, I had to absolutely take control of my time. And through learning how to do this, I was able to bring structure, I was able to bring balance, and I was able to bring a sort of, organized approach to my career and to my schedule. One of the very first things that I do is called brain dumping. It's basically I take some time out to anything that's on my brain, anything that's in my head, just get it out, put it on a piece of paper, put it on a notebook, put it on a Word document, put it on a dry erase board, anywhere. It's a way to get my brain clear so that I can make clearer decisions. And that could be anything big, anything small, anything that's nagging you. I need to do laundry. I need to go do grocery shopping. I need to finish up a song. I need to finish the lyrics to a particular record that I started. Write it all down. You can identify where each of those things belong later. But I think what's most important is that you write it all down and get it out of your head. If it lives here, it doesn't exist in the physical world, and it needs to exist in the physical world in order for you to make it actionable. So get it out of your head and put it on a piece of paper. All right, next thing you want to do is prioritize the things that came out of your head. Some things are urgent, but not important. Some things are important, but not urgent. And some things are urgent and important. You might want to get to those first. So those are the first things that I would want to put in my calendar. What's urgent and important. And that's usually aligned with where my goals are. So if my goal for the week is to finish the 3 songs that I've been putting off for the last month, then maybe anything that has to do with finishing that song is urgent and important. So I schedule those things first in my calendar. Secondly, I'll schedule the things that are important but not necessarily urgent. And those things that are not urgent and not important are probably just time wasters and things that can either wait till later on in the week, later on in the month, or you can just delegate it to somebody else. The very next trick that I have is time blocking. Time blocking is an absolute game changer, and for creatives is absolutely important. The basics of time blocking is this: I set out certain time blocks, literally, in my day for specific things or specific categories of things per se. So instead of being very specific with it, I say, okay, on a Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. is my creative block. I'm only going to work on creative things during that time. Between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. is my email block. I'm only going to check emails. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it'll take me an hour to check emails. But if I am going to check my emails, it's probably going to be during that hour. By doing this, I kind of walk into the block already prepared on what to expect. And once I start doing these things, my brain starts wiring itself to kind of expect these specific moments throughout the day and throughout the week. I go as far as sometimes even theming my days. So for example, I don't do any meetings on Fridays, or I might not do any type of business work on a Tuesday. I just want to do nothing but creative work on a Tuesday. Those are just examples, but ways that you can do it where you can free up whole days or whole blocks of your time for specific kind of things. I have friends that do content every Thursday, or I have friends that do editing every Wednesday. And maybe Wednesday mornings are set aside for editing and Wednesday nights are set aside for posting up on social media. But it's just the kind of things that you can do as a creative where you don't have to be super rigid with your time schedule, but you can go ahead and expect a certain part of your day to be themed around something. In the music business, you can use this again. Maybe you set a time block on every Tuesdays and Thursdays to practice your instrument between 3 and 4 p.m. or 3 and 5 p.m. or however long you want to practice. But now you know to expect that time. Now it's not in your head. Now you don't have to say, oh my God, I have to practice my violin or I have to practice my piano. Instead, you know that it's going to happen on Tuesdays. You know that it's going to happen on Thursdays at a specific time block, and you will not be bothered by it. So it frees your mind up to do other things throughout the week if you don't necessarily have to have that in the back of your head. Last but not least, I just want to give you a quick tip on using the tools that are available. We all have calendars on our phones, and there's a lot of them available on the App Store and free. I personally use Google Calendar as my favorite, and it syncs across all my devices. If it doesn't exist in my calendar, it is basically not happening. So in Google, you can create multiple calendars. So I create one calendar called my ideal week. I make this false calendar where basically I put the things that I want to do or need to do during the week. Go to the gym, eat lunch at a certain time, have dinner at a certain time, maybe spend some time with friends, spend some time with family, etc. Once I put these in my ideal calendar, I try to build my calendar around this ideal time. So everything else that comes up during my week that I have to do, I kind of put it in between the gaps of my ideal. That way, I don't really have any excuse to miss the gym, or I don't have any excuse not to eat lunch or have dinner at the time that I want to have it. Last but not least, be flexible and be kind to yourself. The schedule isn't a 100% thing. For me, if 70 or 80% of my schedule goes as planned, I'm happy. If things have to move around, I'll move them around. It's okay. It's not a big deal. You have to use your calendar as a roadmap. It's not necessarily exactly how it has to go, but it definitely gives you a GPS, if you will, of where your day should be going. And it keeps you in line with your goals and with the tasks that you have to accomplish. Thanks again for watching. If this video was helpful, check out my other videos. Check out the stuff. Go to my webpage. I left the link below. I have blog entries and stuff like that. Also follow me on social media where I have a lot more cool stuff and a lot more cool content. You can also follow up on all the projects that I'm working on. If you have any questions, leave them on the comment. I'll be glad to answer them. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.